Good evening and a very warm welcome to the Insider Essay, your guide to living better. Join us today as we open up to living braver with the kind of courage that sees Paralympian dressage rider Philippa Johnson-Dwyer defy life-threatening odds to keep getting back on the saddle. Breaking the boundaries of cerebral palsy, farmer and 400-meter runner Sheryl James wins bronze in Tokyo. Illustrator and brand strategist Seth Shezi has the steel to back his talents and reap the rewards. Over 200 meters underwater and something pulls on your leg. How Karen Vandenwerfer's true grit broke the women's deep diving world record. Chef Nti bounces back from losing her fashion business, sells everything to invest in new skills, and reinvents herself as the portrait of foodie success. A courageous new generation of South African talent steps forward to grow the economy. And spot the clues in the show and stand a chance of winning a top-of-the-range energy-saving washing machine by answering the weekly show-related question on our social media pages. Life has been rough, but take heart from this 5-time Paralympic dressage rider whose smile and surrounds are in such contrast to what she has overcome.
Hi Insider Essay, this is Philippa Johnson-Dwyer and welcome to Belgium. My love of horse riding was predestined. First of all, my name in Greek means the love of horses. Second, I'm Sagittarius, half horse, half man. And then I was born into a show jumping family, so I don't think I had much choice in the fact but to be in love with horses. At the end of 1998, I was involved in a car accident in which I lost my brother and my boyfriend, and that left me without the use of my right arm and in a severely weakened right leg. And as a young professional rider, it seemed like the world had come to the end, especially since that December I was actually supposed to go and train in Germany for the first time, which for any rider is, so exciting to be able to finally come to Europe and train. But with everything in life, something happens and it's just about changing your goals. Learning to ride after my accident was obviously a very big challenge. After your initial pleasure of just being able to get back on a horse after the doctors have told you you'll never ride again. I think having been a competitive rider my whole life, you always want that little bit more. And all of a sudden we had to try and find out how we rode, but only with one hand. It's literally starting to learn how to walk again. And at times incredibly frustrating. And at other times incredibly exciting when you actually do find things and things go right.
Philippa is among our most successful equestrian athletes with her unbreakable spirit.
The highlight of my career would have to be my Olympic medals. First, my 2 silver medals in Athens in 2004, and then obviously my 2 gold medals in Beijing 2008. Running up to Tokyo last year, unfortunately, I did have some major health concerns. In September, I was diagnosed with a bacterial infection in my blood, which unfortunately then went to my heart, causing an endocarditis. So October last year, I had to have open heart surgery. And in the tests running up to that surgery, they also discovered that I had cancer. But I was incredibly lucky in that they had caught the cancer extremely early. So after the heart surgery, I was given about a month to recover and then went into 5 weeks of chemo and radiation. And yeah, I think my biggest drive through all of that was the fact that I had Tokyo coming up. And I think a lot of my doctors thought I was very strange and quite crazy when I said, I don't care what you have to do. Just fix me because I've qualified for Tokyo and I'm going to ride in Tokyo.
But it takes 2 to tango and to dressage.
This is just in time, otherwise known as Elfie. For obvious reason, if you look at her ears, she looks like the elf princess. But she's the newest in the team. And this is the horse that I went to Tokyo with. She is 10 years old this year. I got her last year in August, and I had her a month before I got really, really sick. And then unfortunately I had to stop riding for 7 months. So the build up to Tokyo was very short. It was only really the last kind of 3 months that I was able to ride her. So it was a very new combination when we went in. But she really is incredible. And the night on the finals, it was only the second time we've ever ridden a musical freestyle. And she just gave me the ride of my life. She was absolutely phenomenal. When we're looking after the horses, it's very much like looking after any top sport athlete. You want to make sure their diet is correct and their exercise is correct. Obviously that they're getting enough sleep, making sure they get the best nutrition possible. Our working program is exactly like an athlete's program. You've got your dips and your peaks, always wanting them to peak just before competition. I'm also extremely lucky in that I've got an amazing team around me. So yeah, the horses get 5-star treatment. I think sometimes they get treated better than the top athletes.
Like Rocky Balboa, there's no champ without a trainer, and Chris Hudson is in Philippa's corner.
When I met Chris and I asked him to start training me, he said, okay, we'll do 1 lesson, and if it clicks, we'll carry on. And that was 17 years ago. And I think the thing that I love most about him is that Chris treats me like a dressage rider. And, you know, whenever I've told him I've got a goal, he's always been with me and wanting to help me do it.
You need a good horse with good trot, good walk, and good canter. And in the moment we have a very good horse. And that in combination with rider, we train like a normally rider. We don't look too much to her problems with her arm. And we try to train up till the Grand Prix. That is a dream for Philippa and also for me, that I can bring her so far that she can go in maybe in 2 years or something like that in the Grand Prix.
The unexpected prize was meeting, competing against, and then falling in love with Irish Paralympian James Dwyer.
I am classified as a grade 4 rider, and James is classified as a grade 5 rider. So basically all that means is it goes to the classification of our disabilities. When we met, I was actually riding as a grade 5, and I think because we had been friends and competitors for 12 years before we became a couple, it stood us in very good stead for once we were a couple. Once we're in the competition ring, it's about competing against each other.
Whoever actually won, we were always really happy for
them, yeah. We've got the 2 gold medals from Beijing, 2 silver from Athens, and then James's bronze from London. But as well as the medals, we also get stable plaques for our horses, which is fabulous. And then, of course, the very pretty rosettes. I'm proudest of James' perseverance and bravery in just to keep going. For me, is always an inspiration.
When I had the cancer, I didn't lose my leg straight away. They put in an artificial knee and a bar in my leg, but they said to me, you can't ride anymore. Because you fall and break that, you lose it. So for 10 years, I didn't ride, and when I had the amputation, it took a little while, took a couple of months, but I started riding, and then I found out about the Paralympics and dressage. All of a sudden, I was representing my country, going all over the world, and also, biggest thing is meeting Philippa, and it was through our sport that we did that.
So many people say to us that we are inspiring, and I think neither...
We find that difficult.
We find that difficult to comprehend, because to James and I, we're just us. We're 2 ordinary people who just want to get on with their lives and do what they love. But I think for both of us, our biggest thing is don't ever allow other people to put limits on your dreams. Because as long as you can dream it, you can do it.
Coming from Superwoman here, those are words you can bank.
Thank you, Insider SA, for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed a view into our Belgium equestrian world.
As fellow riders who base themselves here will tell you, they are never shy of inspiration. Coming up, beyond the statement he makes walking into a room, meet Seth Shezi, influencer, illustrator, and loving big brother. For a lifestyle and brand creative thinker like Seth Shezi, the opening up from lockdowns has seen him boldly spread his wings once more.
Whoa, how long have you guys been chilling there? My name is Seth Shezi and I'm super excited to be taking you through my day. So come join me, let's start with some coffee.
A good idea for a man who provides the spark between products and the public mind.
In a nutshell, so I'm a brand strategist and I work as a creative director for my company that I founded, which is called Obsidian Studios. And what the company does essentially is we work with brands to try and cultivate a narrative for their products and stuff like that, so that it can actually resonate with my demographic. And we also create a lot of content, and I do illustrations. Now it's a business. Before, it used to be something I used to use for therapy, where every time I would fly on like long haul flights, I would always feel kind of like anxious. And to basically calm myself down, I used to like do this like drawing and drafting, which is something I started doing when I was a child. And so now it came back again, like probably starting like from 3-4 years ago. And then some of my friends started liking them, and they were using them as screensavers. And then now, basically, you can find them hanging in some beautiful restaurants and people's homes. And more recently, they're getting turned into wallpaper. And I've got a shirt collaboration, one that I'm going to be wearing for the magazine shoot that we're doing later. Flip, you can't be in this industry without being fascinated with like technology and wanting to be sort of like, abreast of like the latest. And so when I first saw this, I was fascinated by first the fact that it's so nifty and small, and also the screen that folds but still remains flat was like really fascinating for me. And after having it and actually playing with it, I've now loved it infinitely more, because one of the biggest things that you never realize is how tiring it is to have video calls like this. My world is on my phone. So basically I do everything here. Like I edit on this, I have Zoom calls on this, my emails, everything, I'm always on my phone. And so now spend time doing this, it's like your arm cramps up and stuff like that. Now with this, where I can just put it like this, have my meeting, have my calls like this, or even type stuff on it like this. It's like having a mini laptop. So that has been a game changer, which is like a feature I didn't even think I would want before having it. So I would say part of what comes with being GQ's best dressed man is you have to get used to having a lot of photos of you taken. So I do a lot of magazine shoots. So right now that's what we're getting ready for. So the funny thing is, before I was named Best Dressed Man, I never actually cared how I looked like. I just used to dress for myself, which was really fun. Now, if you have the title, you know that people are looking at you and they have the expectations. And now you basically always feel like you probably need to step it up a little bit. So yeah, so the pressure's always there, but you know what? I enjoy it, so I don't mind. Sometimes the lines between work and play can be very difficult to blur, especially when it comes to my phone. So the nice thing about it for me is that I never have to switch off and take time to say, okay, cool, now I'm wearing like my work hat and now I'm wearing my like off-duty hat. If you're an entrepreneur and you own your own business and you're a designer and like a serial collaborator like myself, I have to be on all the time because everything around me is inspiration. So having a camera that I can quickly like snap a photo that will remind me of something when later on I'm sitting and designing an illustration, that matters to me. Today's photo shoot is to profile the new Galaxy Samsung Flip. And I happen to be one of the friends of the Flip, and I love the phone. And today I'll be styling 3 different looks to basically showcase all the style and the versatility and all of the cool features that the phone has. Today's shoot is going to be really unique because we get to style ourselves, and I think I always love it when a magazine trusts the people that they're profiling to allow them to actually style themselves. So we've all been given sort of like a chance to highlight what features of the phone we like the most, and we're going to be styling ourselves according to that. And like they say, fashion is an expression of yourself. So naturally, being in the content game, for me, it's really important to have a phone that actually does a lot of different things, and I think this phone is jam-packed with features. The first time I remember ever caring about style was going to church every Sunday, and my grandparents took it seriously. Like my grandmother would wear hats and my grandfather would wear three-piece suits. And I think that's where I started observing what it meant to present yourself in the most delicate way that was conscious, because I think besides it just being a form of good manners, it also meant what you're presenting to the world before you even open your mouth. What initially drew me to the phone was the sleek lines, and I love I love a tailored suit, for instance. So having sleek lines was really important to me, and having something that was compact, because if you have spent the time and the effort and the money to basically get your suit to be perfect, you also don't want bulges anywhere that you didn't intend to. So that's why I don't carry a wallet, because I don't want anything bulging, and the Flip is perfect for that. Well, I'm known for arresting incredibly beautiful content. I tend to lean more towards the luxury space, mainly because I think that it's something that's really nice to showcase for a community like South Africa. It's aspirational, it makes people dream and sort of believe that there's a world outside of what they actually exist in.
And no one helps you keep it real quite like family.
My name is Bonga Shezi. I'm Seth's brother, and I'm studying architecture at the University of Cape Town.
I didn't even know how to describe our relationship, because I feel like it crosses many layers. I'm obviously the eldest, and he's the second youngest, but he's the youngest of the boys, with 3 boys. And then we have a sister as the last one, the baby one. And I mean, he's a lot younger than me. Obviously we're really close, so we're good brothers. But also sometimes I feel like a little bit of a father figure to him.
Definitely is. Yeah.
It's a really, really rich and fulfilling kind of relationship, because I think for me it allows me to feel young. At the same time, I feel like I'm imparting some kind of wisdom to someone.
That's best. Especially because after moving here to Cape Town, it's just been amazing, because having to worry him, and he just never gets tired of it.
So he does worry a lot.
So it's just amazing, yeah.
Just give me goofy faces. We eat a lot together. I think that's one of the things we do. And then we both like cars, so we go for drives a lot.
Yeah.
So drives and eat.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that I find so interesting for me is, interestingly enough, obviously I'm the older one, and I am actually 16 years older than him. And yet sometimes I come to him with some of my problems and issues, and he's got this very calm, sort of unfazed kind of nature of looking at the world, and he sometimes gives me perspective. Now we have an up and down sort of effect, which has really been great for me, and something that I never knew I missed before that.
Compliments of the day.
So switching from my old phone to the Flip was pretty simple. The one thing that for me has been just mind-blowing, and I can't stress it enough because you don't think about it until you have the phone, is the fact that it sits on its own. Being able to take photos like this with it sitting there, you never need a travel buddy anymore, and you don't need anyone to assist you anywhere where you go. And it being, for me, I'm clumsy, and it being waterproof, brilliant. Every time someone's taking a photo of you, you always sit there nervous because you're thinking, oh, can they take the photo? Is this going to be good? Are my eyes closed? And this has a back camera that actually gives you a preview. So while I'm taking a photo of you on this side, you're able to actually see yourself on the other side. So I think that's brilliant. I think I'm stuck now. I'm a full convert.
With the same courage and self-belief that led one brother to success, the other is sure to follow. Still to come, Sheryl James dares to outrun her disability. If you're a skilled team player, there's a place for you. Karen van den Oever dives into the abyss. Chef Nti makes the brave career choice. And stand a chance of winning a top-of-the-range washing machine by answering the weekly show-related question on our social media pages and website. Behind the medals, there is mystery among many of us about the disabilities of our Paralympians. Questions we're awkward about asking. These athletes are courageous fighters who are not allowing circumstance to get in the way of them achieving their personal goals.
Hi Inside SA, I'm Sheryl James. Para-athlete, T37, welcome to Limpopo. I live here on the farm in Lutrichard with my parents on the farm and my younger brother. I'm a T37 classification, which basically means I have cerebral palsy. The class T37 is specific to CPs that are hemiplegic, so that affect the one side of our body. We have basically suffered from some sort of a stroke, and there is an injury or a scar on the brain which has an effect on our nervous system that causes coordination problems and balance and spasticity. I started running marathons in 2010. I started preparing for my first comrades. I only ran my first comrades in 2012. I didn't finish that race and then ran the comrades another 2 times and managed to finish those 2, which was great. While I was training for the comrades, the guys who I was running with would often suggest to me that I should try and participate in para-athletics and go for the Paralympics. We just decided to explore, and we got into contact with the guys in Gauteng, the Isability Club, and it sort of just went from there. The opportunity presented itself. It just went from one competition to the next, and before I knew it, I was at the Paralympics.
But as coach Gideon Joubert has witnessed, going from a marathon to one circuit of the track is not the breeze it might seem.
Sheryl James started training with me in 2018, and the very first time I let her run in a friendly race, she fell down because of the challenges that she has in her body. So the very first 400 meters that she ever ran in her lifetime, she actually fell down because of the way that her body responded to that fatigue. And so to me, it's a very proud moment, the first time that Sheryl could run a 400 meter, complete it. And then when she started bettering times, breaking records, and eventually winning a world champ medal in 2019 and now an Olympic medal in 2021.
Sheryl is always getting spasms on her left side of her body that tends to work harder than the right side. And that is also where I assist in, is to reduce that spasms, stretch out the muscles, and then Karen does more the body conditioning, strength training. So yeah, we're really making a good team with Sheryl being the star.
She's been my physio for a very long time, and I think we've become good friends. And yeah, just from a physio point of view, she has really helped me keep my body in a healthy, good condition to continue doing the sport that I love.
Pilates is great because it stems from the core. So what that means is we strengthen the muscles that support the spine, the hips, the shoulders, anything that's got to do with balance and stability.
With the fine-tuning that I get from Pilates and that focus on the small little muscles, it's improved all of my form and my ability to engage the right muscles at the right time for the best output, which is great.
Key to Sheryl's mental and emotional strength are her parents, Sandy and Chris, and her brother, Gary James.
The one thing that comes to memory about growing up with my sister would probably be her determination to do things that she was told she wouldn't be able to do.
She really enjoyed the outdoors, and I think that's where she felt most comfortable.
Sheryl, growing up as a child, has had a pretty normal childhood. She was a real farm girl. She loved being outside. She was also a pretty good scholar.
Sheryl was also a very, very happy child. That's where she got the name Takalani from, which means happy in Venda.
It's truly inspiring to watch how other people participate and do what they do with whatever they have. It was a real privilege to go and participate at the Paralympics. I just enjoyed every minute of the race, and it was extremely satisfying to have finished the race with those incredible girls around me, in front of me, behind me. It was truly amazing.
While winning bronze in that toughest of sprints, the 400, Takelane was enjoying everyone else's moments too.
My most proud moment when it comes to Sheryl's achievement can't actually be defined into one moment. I'm proud of her courage. I'm proud of the fact that she's a team player. She doesn't take sort of individual glory. She really honors and appreciates every member of her team, which is quite vast. I'm immensely proud of the fact that she medaled at Tokyo.
My family have been a huge part of my sporting career in all the sports that I have participated in, and now recently with the para-athletics. They've been there from the beginning and cheering me on and helping me, supporting me. My mom has flown over with me overseas to competitions, to qualify. I love my family. I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing without them. They are everything to me, and I wouldn't change them for the world. Thanks Inside SA for joining me today here on the farm in the Limpopo. I had great fun with you guys. Loved sharing my life with you. See you on the track.
Recently voted SA's best digital bank with over 17 million clients. In 20 years, Capitec has become a well-loved, trusted brand on the South African banking landscape. At the heart of this growth is a talented team, dedicated and forward-thinking in driving this success.
At Capitec, we always look for individuals that can totally own being the CEO of their role. That means always putting the client first, acting with energy and taking ownership. We're so lucky that people really want to work for the organization. We've got a fantastic business brand, so we seized the opportunity to expand on our employer brand. This really started with showcasing a day in the life of our executives, so really giving people the idea of what our leaders do. Then we went to some of our hiring managers, and they gave us insight into what they're recruiting for and what they think you should have as part of your skill set to join their teams. And then we went to speak to people that are actually working in these roles. So you'll see some of our really cool developers, analyst developers, and credit risk people talking on our LinkedIn and social media pages about a day in the life. We believe this also gives you insight into the culture and the cool things that they're busy with. And that really latches onto the fact that we believe we've got exceptional talent in our country, and we'd like to attract people into those opportunities that we have. Currently, our focus is anything technology, but we're always looking for niche and specialized skill sets to join the company.
We joined some of those latest talents to be recruited as they discover the power of teamwork in banking and beyond.
Changing jobs during a pandemic is absolutely daunting, not knowing what the future entails, and making a jump when you have a stable job, especially being a mother and having the responsibilities on the home front. Courage for me is unlocking your potential, being brave enough to actually say, I can do something when nobody else believes in you, empowering yourself to attain the success that you want to own, and owning your own trajectory.
I was looking for a change and a challenge. Capitec is a growing bank with lots of opportunities where one can be exposed to different technologies.
Why I enjoy working at Capitec Bank is being around like-minded people who enjoy learning and also teaching others.
The whole team is really amazing. Everyone is very collaborative. We try and work together. Knowledge sharing is also amazing. And everyone is just constantly positive, which is really great.
It's a fast-paced environment. You get there, you learn, and you go. And that's just how I love it.
Agro branch is pretty much an adventure park, so it involves obstacles and zip lines. So if you want to conquer your fear of heights or you just love enjoying heights, this is a place for you.
I've never done this before, but I'm really excited to take this opportunity and essentially wing it.
Not feeling nervous at all, about to take the first obstacle. I think we can do this.
Whenever there's something put in front of me which is like supposed to be difficult, I just love that task because I want to break it down and make sure that, I can succeed. I put very, very high standards for myself, and I know that I can take any challenge head on.
I believe courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear.
I believe fear is a hallucination, and the not knowing part should not scare you, but you should rather do it. Who knows, you might just enjoy it.
I was quite surprised with the height of the ladder when I started my first obstacle. I didn't expect it to be that high. My body was shaking a bit, my legs were also shaking, and then I had to keep telling myself, you can do it, just relax, keep yourself calm.
I thought I loved outdoor adventures, but this was very challenging, very exciting as well, and having great fun.
Coming here today, I was so scared of heights. I couldn't even imagine myself being on top there. And, I did all the obstacles and I was still afraid. But as I was going through it, I gathered some strength and I just pushed through. And I'm just grateful that I made it to the top and I'm finished. And now I'm the happiest. I know I can take any challenge.
I feel delighted to be down. That was absolutely terrifying.
The most challenging for me was the log part, where you had to use your upper body strength to carry your entire weight across that obstacle. That was really hard. I know that it actually took courage for me to do this because I was scared at first, but I really feel great and I really worked with a great team. Everyone kept motivating each other, keep going, and we did it. That was awesome, guys, but now I'm hungry.
Let's go get some food.
Woo!
It was actually nice to mingle with new people that you don't know, get to know them, different backgrounds and cultures. So I had a great time.
So guys, before today, for me, I was always grabbing lunch alone. But I think after today, I have met friends. Can we grab lunch together?
Yes, definitely. This has been amazing, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Capitec's diverse group of employees are united in their quest to help South Africans live better. And to do this even better, the bank wants you. If you're a graduate or senior professional, there are around 400 posts available, including developers, analyst developers, data engineers and scientists, as well as business intelligence analysts. Got what it takes? Then apply. Visit the Capitec Careers portal at careers.capitecbank.co.za for more. Just ahead, it's like a 7-hour abseil down a cliff face at night in winter underwater. But with a Guinness World Record at the bottom, Karen van den Oever is in. Don't let appearances deceive you. If deep breathing, confined spaces, the dark and cold aren't your thing, look away.
Hi, my name is Karen and I'm the women's world record holder for the deepest cave dive. And welcome to Miracle Waters. I started diving in 2001 while I was on holiday in the Eastern Cape. My parents bought me my first scuba diving course as a birthday gift. And I really enjoyed the experience. I've always enjoyed being in the water and swimming, and this was now just an opportunity to get to see what lay beneath the surface of the water. So I started cave diving in around 2007, and I must say it wasn't really something that interested me. It was only when one of my diving friends had come back from traveling abroad and needed a cave diving buddy that we started cave diving a lot more together.
It's not a typical career step after a BSc Honours in Pharmacology, but after Karen met world record holders Werner van Schaik and Nuno Gomez, the bug bit hard.
So I decided to break the women's world record. It was probably around 2004, 2005, but at that time I was still a relatively entry-level diver. It was only, probably 16 or 17 years later that I was actually able to attempt to break the record. So it was over a number of years that I started building up depth, starting at 100 meters, then 110, 120, eventually 150 meters, and then eventually getting to the point where I felt I had enough skills and experience to take on the record. So there was really a lot of preparation that went into putting a dive like this together. So not all the dives you do are world record dives. This is where it all started, right here at the swimming pool. And 3, 2, 1, go. We decided to start somewhere out there diving in 2013 when we'd left the diving club that we were with at the time. And we did that because we wanted to take a little bit of a different spin on diving and the diving club environment. We wanted to be able to organize more expedition type trips to go dive places where people don't normally go and dive.
It's very fulfilling being able to transfer the skills that you have had for many, many years to somebody who has not had any exposure to those skills, and seeing them grow and how their confidence grows as they develop the skills.
And I think for me, it's about sharing my passion. I'm very passionate about scuba diving, and teaching others is an opportunity to share that passion and share that love of the sport with them. So one of the skills we're going to practice now, and we'll practice again once we get a little bit deeper, is mask clearing.
They're really good teachers, and I find that their attention to detail and safety is the best I've ever found.
Their focus on safety especially is something that's really comforting, and you're confident in your abilities.
Instructors have a lot of background. They pretty much know everything there is to know about recreational diving, and a lot of technical side as well.
With a deep record attempt, there are support divers, a doctor, and training as a unit is crucial.
So it's really important for us to get together as a team now and again and do some dives, like we're doing today at Miracle Waters. It keeps our skills fresh, diving fit, getting in the water periodically, and also gets us, diving together as a team and working well as a team together. So in Miracles today, there's a few things that we're going to try and see if we can have a look at. There's a helicopter at about 32 meters. Hopefully we find it. There's also a tractor in here. There's an aeroplane. There's a bus, and there's a few other sort of little things that have been placed around in the water for divers to go look at. I really enjoy being in the water and scuba diving because it's really beautiful down there, and it's also very quiet and peaceful, and it's an opportunity to escape the real world for a while and really truly be in the present.
With 9 support divers waiting at stages right down to 200 meters, it took thousands of collective deep diving hours to make this happen safely.
So on the morning just before the dive, I was incredibly nervous. I had a million things going through my head of all the things that could potentially go wrong, and if they did go wrong, how would I manage them? But you kind of slowly think through each of those scenarios and think how you can manage them, and that kind of calms your nerves a little bit. I don't really have any specific rituals before I dive, but I do check and double check all my equipment to make sure that everything is right and everything is working properly before the dive.
One of the things we've realized preparing for and executing a dive like this is that the amount of time you spend with a team is really critical, because you need to know what someone's doing underwater. You need to anticipate any problems. You need to know when they're flapping with a piece of gear if it's just frustration or if they're actually in trouble. And what we've realized is that lots of dives together, having fun, is what sets that.
Karen's extremely disciplined. I think the discipline not only comes in the water but also out of the water, and we saw that grow over the periods while we were building up. Every single time there was a different aspect that we had to have a look at. Even in the technical workshops, questions were asked and answered, and eventually her leadership skills came through to the forefront, saying that's what she wants, that's how she needs it, and everyone had to fit into that gap, and we had to understand what our own personal limitation was to make sure that we could achieve her goal.
Well, I'm feeling really proud to be part of this team, and I'm really proud of Karen and her achievement. I've known her for 8 years. In the beginning, I was really scared when she told me. I actually thought she was really crazy for attempting this, but I think she did very well, and I think the team as well worked very well. I'm very proud and honored.
The feeling when I reached Karen at 60 meters to have a look and understand where everyone is safe, for me personally, the feeling was ecstatic. I was extremely proud, and I still to this day I feel extremely honored to be part of this team. The team, not only the team dynamics, but in and out of the water, it's a cohesive unit.
The dangers at such depths include high-pressure nervous syndrome, decompression sickness, and not returning at all.
The morning leading up to the world record dive was a really early start. The whole team was up at 4 a.m. in the morning to try and get the dive started as early as possible because it was really a long dive. And it was really a tense atmosphere. My target depth was actually 250 meters, but I decided to stop at 236. I unclipped the record tag with the number on it, clipped it onto myself, and when I tried to ascend, I inflated my wings and nothing happened. So I started trying to pull myself up on the record line and trying to swim up. It was only when I got to about 211 meters that I felt that there was something tangled around my legs. And when I looked, I could see there was line that was holding me down. So I managed to throw that line off and then was able to continue my ascent.
Breaking the record is only the half of it. To avoid a potentially fatal rapid release of nitrogen and helium in her blood, Karen had to rise slowly in stages.
So at the end of the dive, when I eventually surfaced, so the total dive time was 7 hours and 18 minutes. And when I eventually popped my head out of the surface, it really was a huge relief. I'd spent a lot of time in the water. I was cold, I was hungry. And it really was just such a big relief to know that I'd accomplished this and that I'd got back from the dive safely and everything was fine.
To many of us, a deep dive is a newspaper article too long to read over coffee. Thanks to Karen, the term has a real challenge and danger again. Right after this, when you made it from the township to the top of your game and then lost everything, it takes a brave heart like Chef Nti to try something completely new.
Sponsored by Capitec. Simplify banking. Live better.
Ntabiseng Ramaboa, aka Chef Nti, has an international cooking show, restaurant and popular cookbook. In 6 years since losing her successful fashion and facilities businesses, she has reinvented herself in a wholly new career.
Hi guys, Chef Nti, restaurateur and cookbook author. Today I am so excited. I'm in Braamfontein at my favorite spot, the JFF Rooftop Farm. I'm hosting a picnic, I've got a few friends coming, and I'm getting my produce. Of course, I brought my sous chef, so let's go. So for me, working with local suppliers is a must.
We really love the fact that we are trying to reduce our carbon footprint and make sure that we are growing our food responsibly, so that our customers know how their food is grown, where it comes from, and prepare it with love.
I mean, a good recipe is as good as the ingredients that you use. So guys, this is what I really love because I can harvest my own produce. What do you think? Should I use this in the tzatziki or the iced tea? Because it has a bit of sweetness.
I would think that this would be really nice for the iced tea, and then the spearmint would be fantastic for the tzatziki.
Fabulous. Oh, I chose chefing. I actually feel like chefing chose me because I've been cooking from when I was 13. I'm one of those friends, when my friends were there in my neighborhood, told me, are you there? Because they know there's food. At home, I'm the one cooking. When everything went down, I decided if I start over, I want to do it from my point of passion, the same way I did with fashion, because, you know, work is part of our life. So for me, I believe that work should be an expression of what I love. Okay, Nigan, I think I've got enough. I'm just going to take some pots to go and grow in the kitchen, but I feel like it's time I go and cook now.
Okay.
And get my picnic ready.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
After financial misfortune, the Soweto-born entrepreneur had the self-belief to sell her home, cars, enroll in chef school, and start again in food.
This is an exciting day for me because this is a space that I use as a restaurant. I also use it to curate content. We are shooting how-to recipes, 3 of them today. So I'm glad you're here because you're gonna catch all the behind the scenes. Okay, Pedrico.
Sure.
What's good?
Good, good. Oh,
Awesome.
well. Are you ready to
work?
go? Yeah, we're
Yeah,
good to go.
fabulous.
Chef Nti has always been a hardworking woman. I've known her for years now. She's an African woman. She loves African food. Every time I'm here, it's just, you know, we have to eat all the time, you know, obviously after we work. What sets her apart is the business mindset that she's got, but I love the food. It's amazing.
I'm a floral designer, floral artist. My company centralizes around decor, art decor. It's the marriage between nature and art. Food goes, you know, with decor. So this is how myself and Nti have come together, finally, the marriage of both worlds. So I bring the flowers, I bring the beautiful things, she brings the amazing food. Starting a business is one thing, but being able to thrive in multiple industries is another, and that's what my friend Chef Nti has done. She's been in the fashion industry, and she self-skilled to become a chef. Not only owning the market, but coining the space. Releasing a book is not easy, going to Dubai, being booked for shows. I think it's so admirable, especially in this climate, to be versatile, to thrive, to own your space, you know, from scratch. That's what I admire the most about her.
Okay guys, so for our first recipe, we are going to make dessert. Berry and lemon no-bake cheesecake. As you can see, no stove is on. All I have is just my ingredients. Berry and lemon, I've got some raspberries, I've got some strawberries, obviously my lemon, and some brown sugar. I've got my tennis biscuit for a bit of crunch because we need a bit of texture. I've got my lemon curd. Okay, I've got cream cheese, and I have my sugar. And that's it. So this is recipe number 2. We're still doing picnic vibes because it's summer and we love to be outdoors. Now this one is meat-free. So I'm making a Mediterranean dish. They call it gyros. It's actually just pita bread that is stuffed with deliciousness. This is now recipe number 3 of our picnic vibes. We are making wors because proudly South African, local is lekker. I've got my lamb wors, the very thin one. I like it because it's so dainty and it cooks quicker. So I'm adding flavor. As you know, wors has already built-in spices in there. There's about 5 spices: salt, pepper, cumin seeds, all those delicious things. But then I want to build more flavor with it.
With her book, My Modern African Kitchen a Hit, Chef commissioned renowned artist Sheryl to paint her portrait from the cover photo.
It's amazing. I love to collaborate in this way with the portrait subject because she had a very particular view. So it's the first time I've actually done a painting from a pre-existing artwork, if you know what I mean. I think the really difficult technical challenge was rendering that costume, because there's so much detail in it. Chef Nti is quite a photorealist painting.
Okay, friend. So we are finally unveiling the portrait I was telling you about. And I'm so excited because I kept it a secret from this one. Okay, so drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. Yay! Right?
Wow.
How cool is this?
This is cool.
It actually looks like the cookbook cover. Now you are published, and also, what do we call it when it's now in a portrait?
Like the queen.
This is painted on pencil.
This is painted.
Oh my gosh, it's oil.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like if you touch it, you can even feel the textures of it. Oh, guys.
Look at the eyes, it's so
Sheryl, I know, right? Sheryl, thank you so much. This for me is one to keep for a lifetime even.
Chef Nti had the courage of her convictions to reinvent her career, and every second of it confirms she was right.
My love for food literally saved my life because I don't think that, you know, had I found this journey, I would be this sane, this happy, because for me, it's not work. I would cook for free and people want to pay me to do it, you know? So food saved me, for sure. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. From me, Chef Nti, I am signing out. Thank you, the Inside ISA. Mwah!
Get more of the Insider SA online. Follow, connect, engage, and be inspired to live better with the Insider SA. Watch the show Monday evenings at 5:30. Repeat Saturday at 1 on S3.